Plato on justice. What is a just life? Unpacking the weighty concept of justice has been an intellectual marathon for philosophers, but perhaps no one set the pace quite like Plato. His exploration, primarily captured in the magnificent dialogue The Republic, moves beyond simple legal fairness or retributive punishment to probe the very core of human well-being. For Plato, justice isn't merely a set of external rules enforced by a state. It's an internal harmony, a health of the soul, that defines a truly just and therefore a truly happy life. The city-soul analogy, justice writ large and small. To grasp Plato's vision of a just life, we must first look at his blueprint for a just state, the polis. Plato introduces the famous city-soul analogy, suggesting that the structure of the ideal city perfectly mirrors the structure of the individual soul. This is a brilliant rhetorical move, allowing him to examine complex internal morality by first studying it writ large in the easily observable political sphere. In the ideal city, Plato identifies three distinct classes, each corresponding to a different function and virtue. 1. The guardians, or philosopher kings. These are the rulers. Their function is to govern with wisdom and reason. 2. The auxiliaries, or soldiers. Their function is to protect the city with courage and spirit. 3. The producers, farmers, artisans, merchants. Their function is to provide for material needs, guided by the virtue of temperance or moderation. A just state is achieved when each class performs its proper function without meddling in the affairs of the others. The guardians, driven by reason and concern for the common good, must lead. This principle of non-interference and specialization is the backbone of social justice for Plato. The tripartite soul, finding internal harmony. Now, let's turn the microscope inwards to the individual soul. Plato argues that the human psyche is also tripartite, mirroring the classes of the city. 1. The rational part, ta logistikon. This is the part that seeks truth, knows what is genuinely good, and is capable of reasoned judgment. It corresponds to the guardians and the virtue of wisdom. 2. The spirited part, ta thumoedes. This is the part associated with noble emotions, honor, ambition, and righteous indignation. It acts as the natural ally of reason, helping to enforce its commands. It corresponds to the auxiliaries and the virtue of courage. 3. The appetitive part, ta epithematikon. This part consists of the base desires and biological needs, hunger, thirst, lust, and the drive for excessive wealth. It corresponds to the producers and must be controlled by temperance. A just life, in Plato's profound sense, is achieved when the three parts of the soul are in perfect alignment and balance. Justice is essentially a state of psychic order, where reason, the rational part, supported by the energy of spirit, the spirited part, rules over the often chaotic and demanding appetites, the appetitive part. It's an inner constitution, not an external accomplishment. Beyond conventional morality, justice as eudaimonia. The real magic of Plato's definition is that it breaks with the conventional view, famously articulated by Glaucon in The Republic, that justice is a tiresome necessity or a social contract adopted only out of weakness, the fear of suffering injustice. Plato seeks to prove that a just life is good for its own sake. He argues that an unjust person, one whose appetites or spiritedness runs rampant, dethroning reason, is living in a state of internal civil war. Imagine your appetites, say for immediate gratification, constantly rebelling against your rational judgment, say the long-term goal of health or education. This internal strife makes the soul sick, unstable, and ultimately miserable. The unjust person, even if they appear wealthy and successful on the outside, is internally fragmented and unhappy. Conversely, the truly just life is one of inner health and coherence. When reason governs, the individual is stable, disciplined, and his actions flow from a unified, rational purpose. This internal order is the prerequisite for eudaimonia, often poorly translated as happiness, but better understood as flourishing or living well. For Plato, the just person is the fully realized, optimally functioning human being. Justice is simply the structural condition that allows human nature to achieve its highest potential. The subtle power of specialization and the failure of tyranny. Plato's vision also offers a subtle critique of excess. The principle of specialization means that the most rational must not be driven by appetite, wealth, or spirit. They must be driven solely by the pursuit of truth and the common good. When the parts of the soul, or the classes of the city, abandon their proper roles, for example, when the appetitive part, the love of wealth, takes control, the result is a descent into political and psychological sickness, culminating in the complete disintegration of order, tyranny. The tyrant, governed solely by insatiable, lawless appetite, is the most unjust man, and, paradoxically, the most miserable. His soul is a constant battlefield of fear and unfulfilled desire. Plato shows that true freedom is not the license to do whatever one desires, but the internal freedom of a soul governed by its highest capacity, reason. Plato's insight remains startlingly relevant. A truly just life isn't just about what you do in the public square, but about who you are in the solitude of your own mind. It is a lifelong commitment to ensuring that your best self, your rational mind, remains firmly in charge, harmonizing the powerful, unruly forces within. If you found Plato's incredible insights into the structure of the soul and the path to a truly flourishing life fascinating, let us know. Drop a comment below on which part of the tripartite soul you think is most dominant in modern society. Like this article if you think internal harmony is the key to happiness.